Sessions where I would go through, the same steps that we have gone through to free the physical body of all of the trauma and the bills and contracts and the emotions and the choices that I've made in other lifetimes that pretty much had my 3D experience for my physical self in lockdown. And this is why many of us feel like we have to manifest outside of ourselves, that what we want comes from outside of us. It's because we are not necessarily in ownership of our full 3D energetic imprint. So I went through all that. That is not one session. I'm going to tell you right now. I've been doing it on a few clients, and it depends on the client. Some people are moving rather fast to that, where it's like one chakra a session, where others are taking longer. So it's really, there's obviously 7 chakras, but we also do feet, knees, and mouth. So it's actually 10 chakras to give you an idea as to how extensive. Now, I did this in a week, where we would not necessarily recommend that you do that. You can totally do that, but go at the pace that you feel called to do. And that is the pace that I was called to do, so that's what I did. But I'm going to use the same deck as I did last time. I really do love this deck. I really wish that it was still in print, because it is great, which is the Oracle of Portals by Tess Whitehurst. I just haven't been able to find another deck that has the same energy to me. But I'm going to do a reading on the eclipse. We're going to do the eclipse window for this week, what that is, and from an energetic standpoint, and what we individually should be focusing on. Everything out there, all the chaos, all of the rising of the volume of more chaos is twofold. One, we are in the dissension phase of the feminine, and in the dissension phase of the feminine is where destruction comes in, where the old starts to fall apart, to allow that energy to be used to build the new. It doesn't have to take long. It actually doesn't have to be bumpy either. There are different timelines on this. You could heal the reason why you're on your current timeline, and you can move it to a timeline that's less bumpy if you're finding it really jarring. Definitely stay away from the media right now. They are really harping up the drama, and they everyone serves a role in your reality. So there's no blame here, but just be aware of where you're putting your attention. In the quantum space, there's something called a pendulum. We don't know what a pendulum looks like for an individual, right? I would hope. They all come in different shapes and sizes, but basically something like this. And in the quantum field, there are this energy of a pendulum. Sometimes they're referred to as black holes, but I think the pendulum really helps you understand what's going on. So any big movement in the 3D reality, or even anywhere in the multi-dimension, I suppose, has an energy of a pendulum. It's not really driven by the people. I think many people think that it's driven by the people, but it's really not. These energies get going, and it becomes this really, the pendulum. So movements, say, I don't know why they're showing me this, but whatever. The hippie movements of the 70s, I was not in that at all. I was way too young at that point, but that movement, okay, has a pendulum. Everything has a pendulum. Money has a pendulum. Your job has a pendulum. Your relationship has a pendulum. Your business has a pendulum. And it's understanding how that's working and how whether it's working for you or against you. So every pendulum swings, right? But in certain things right now, or even over the past, oh God, probably for the last 250 years in the US, honestly, the pendulum has been swinging. There's this ride at Six Flags. It's I don't know what it's called, and I wouldn't call it anyways, but it swings really high. And I think it might actually go like up to the top and then come down. I don't think it goes absolutely all around. But that is what the energy of the pendulum is right now for the US, but also some other world issues, I'll call them. And a lot of these issues have been going on for centuries, more than potentially back to Atlantis. It's just that different people, same souls and different bodies. So we're still in the energy. But every time a civilization has ended or there's been a fall of an empire, it's because of this pendulum. And it's what happens is it gets so out of whack, like swinging so fast and so far. And in our universe, that can't exist. That extreme from high on the right to the left, it can't exist. The universe only exists in one energy, that's balance. So everything that's not in balance, that's swaying like this, has to come back into balance. And that is what we're going through right now. And because the swing has been so far for so long, and some souls are not taking the heed to like slowly roll, it's forcing us into balance. And in order for balance to happen, those swings need to be smaller. And it doesn't mean that the pendulum doesn't swing, it just swings just gently in the center. Choice comes in, so it's going to swing, and sometimes it'll be still, but for the most part, it's always swinging. As you make choices in your day-to-day life or different things happening there's an effect to the pendulum as to how much it swings. But right now we're going through that phase of getting balance. Now that balance starts with each of us. It doesn't start out there. That is just a reflection of how far we have gotten off of. Each individually has gotten off as a whole. Whether as a unit, from a unity consciousness perspective, how far we're away from the balance of unity. There is no one outside of us. We're all one, right? So all those shifts cause like little like things. So ourselves to balance is what some of the focus should be. And in that focus, balance, you will be able to more easily integrate these changes that are coming in September for the individual with this like universe consciousness that has come already, and many people are integrating at this time. So why are you out of balance in your life? That is one of the biggest things that's happening in September. We're seeing this play out in the world. Excuse me. The thing with the pendulum that I want to mention really quick is that the pendulum feeds off of energy, whether it's good or bad. Whether you like the pendulum swinging one way or the other, and you're feeding it excitement or joy about it, or if you're in the energy of blame or guilt or anger or fear, that feeds it as well. Pay attention given to the pendulum will feed it. And feeling it causes this swing. This is when big events happen, because imbalance, things like war, even poverty, can't really exist, because this is almost, think about equal. Balance is equal. So that is where we're on. Earth isn't playing anymore. This is why there's been such drastic weather events. she is bringing herself back into balance. And that means that she's going to do it, and whatever means she has to. And in that, we're being asked to find balance in ourselves. So where are you out of balance? And you can use a pendulum and say, am I in balance with my partner, with my job, with my honey, all of the things, and then work on why you aren't balanced. Most likely has to do with emotion. It could be past life, ancestral, all the things. I guess we want this card. Okay. So where are you out of balance? And allowing yourself to come into balance will help you see a more balanced world. Because you're out of balance, most of us are. We've gotten so far off track from our soul's path and mission in the world we were meant to live in on Earth. Has just been out of balance for a long time. So, checking how many cards they want. So I want you to, I lost my train of thought. Okay, pass on. Be aware of where you are out of balance. Because, the frequency of the world that you see outside of yourself is based on what you're projecting out of your heart space into the world. And if you're out of balance, then you will see a world out of balance. And however you're out of balance, you will see it everywhere. And when you come into balance yourself, you'll start to see more balance. So what is balance? Peace, freedom, abundance, joy, empowerment, excitement, fun. Like that's where we're supposed to be living, those middle places. When we get out of whack like this, we get into this like overthinking, overdoing, overanalyzing, overreactive, where we're more reactive versus proactive. And that obviously causes a lot of stress in our individual lives. So where could you like bring those back? And know that the balance issue you may have is that in a past life, whatever is maybe indirectly causing this imbalance is like the pendulum is swinging so much, because if you stopped it, you would have to face something about yourself or remember a gift or knowledge, and it's not, you don't feel it's safe. So, those are all things as to why the pendulum might be swinging in this very unbalanced way. So these are all things that I can totally help you with in a session. I don't do many a week. It takes a lot of energy for me. So if you want a session, the link is below. You can sign and through my online scheduler. Just a note on that, in order for me to keep my freedom with my business, I do my schedule out a month. Right now, October is not available, but it will go up in the next couple of days, and then October will be available. September's not full, but it's pretty close to full. Okay. So if you're interested in that, I'd advise that you schedule an appointment. Okay. So we're looking for 4 cards about this week's eclipse. And all of my guides are, the guides that I work with are Thoth, he's around all the time. Sept been around a lot. And Anubis are usually the 3. And sometimes some of the other ones will come in, like Goddess Isis, not. But I sense that Thoth is here at the moment. We just have Thoth, so that's fine. Right? He was the first guy that even I ever had, so he's been with that. And he's showing me as I shuffle these cards, if you're attracted to that time in ancient Egypt when the pyramids were they currently are active, but not necessarily active in Egypt. They are their own consciousness that you can connect to. and they're throughout the world, and not just in Egypt. But anyways, the pyramid in itself is balance. It's a call to come back to balance. In the center of the pyramid, you are in balance. So that's one way to think of balance, and some of the lessons that the pyramids in our current existence are trying to help us remember. The reason why the pyramids exist in Egypt is not just for an archaeology dig, which, by the way, I don't think they're ever going to find the true reason for the pyramids that way, because it's energetic. And but that will be reminder to our subconscious, which is currently becoming conscious, about who we really are and the power that we really have. And you know, the idea of what sacred geometry is and what's possible with it, is that knowledge is within us. And really the digging, instead of digging in the earth, is within us. And the truth about what those are and how to use them is within us. And that's true for any sacred geometry or anything, really. One more, so we're doing one more. Sometimes we get repeats of cards, and that definitely happened. Okay. So the first card is exciting, right? So we have celebration. Now, with everything that's going on currently in the national stage as well as the world stage, you might think, what is to celebrate? And this is really where the call is to come back to ourselves, to unplug from the world, to stay out of all of the noise that's out there, and really come home to ourselves and allowing ourselves to ride to that next level of consciousness, or the quantum jump that will come in with the eclipse, either in the next couple of days or within the window between the lunar and solar. So that energy is there. I've been able to feel this after doing all the work that I did last week with freeing my energetic body and all of that. I am excited. I am so excited for what's coming. And no matter what happens, you know, out there, I just can feel it in my body. It's like I'm vibrating with that celebration energy. And in order for you to get there, you have to look at what's preventing you from being able to invite the energy of celebration in. That has to happen with you, and it has nothing to do with what happens out there. This is about you and what your higher self is offering to you during the month of September, during this special lunar eclipse. There's the energy of celebration. And sometimes we can't see what it is to celebrate. That's not what your higher self or the energy, your spirit guides or source, or the energy of the feminine, the divine feminine, is the unknown. And we're so programmed to focus on the known, and we make goals, and we have to know all the steps before we move. And that is not how the feminine works. Masculine, someone likes that, and even then it needs to let go, because that is not how you work as an energetic being. You are supposed to flow. You're supposed to follow the guidance, the breadcrumbs, and allow that to move you forward on your path as fast as you want to go, or whether your higher self believes you can. And when we're in this mode of, well, this has to happen before have more time, pay off your debt, have a different job, or leave a job, or this person dies, or whatever. there are a lot of excuses as to why you are not living in the power that you are. There's lots of distractions. In fact, I connect more to this choice. I go to the grocery store, and store said to me, he said, "Look at all the choices you have," and I was like, "It's too many, way too many choices. I don't need that many choices." But where are my choices? Here in the U.S. in the supermarkets, people come from other countries and they go to the supermarkets and they're like, "What?" And sometimes having too many choices is worse because we get overwhelmed and then we get indecisive. We also get FOMO, so we're afraid to miss out. So then, we want to try all the choices and actually make the choice that's actually right for us. So you have to maybe sit with your higher self and ask, like, what's in the way of me being able to feel the energy of celebration? This is what the higher realms or Thoth or your higher self are inviting you to a party where things are going to be very different. Love has won. That's what I keep hearing. Love has won. Love has won. Love has won. So while I may not have a song this week like I did last week, that is what I've been hearing. Love has won. And in that is celebration. And we need to keep our eyes on the prize and not be focused on all of the drama that's happening on the world stage, because that will pull us out of this energy of love, which is really where your heart's opening to what it is, and really working through all of the hurts that are in there. And most of us do have a lot of hurt in there. Totally normal. But if you can get past all the noise and really come home to yourself and feel the love within yourself, you'll start projecting love out of your heart space and you will experience a world for love. But when you go into fear or anger or powerlessness, that's what you see. All of the different variations of the flavors of the world exist already. It's just which one you're tuning into. And there's this energy of celebration that's coming in with this eclipse. Now, what that looks like, it doesn't matter. Remember, we're in the unknown. This is unknown territory. Your higher self knows. But I always hear, humans aren't always privy to the information, because when they know, they screw it up. We get in our heads, we sabotage ourselves, all the things. So they only give us like one, do that step, and then come back and I'll tell you the next one, is usually what I get. So there's an invitation here for you to join a party, to celebrate new. Fully let go of the old and let the new come in, which is where love has won. Okay. And then after the celebration becomes adventure. Now, adventure looks different for every one of us. When I think of adventure, I think of travel. I haven't done a whole lot of that in my life, but it's definitely something that I plan to do in the future. But adventure could be so much more. It could be starting your own business, becoming an artist who makes a living and thrives. It could be just changing it up, driving to work in a new direction, moving things around in your home. It could be just doing things different. It's breaking they're saying the monotony of life. A lot of us, including myself, sometimes I feel like I get up and I just do the same thing and I go to bed at night. And that monotony is not who you are. You are meant to have variety. You're meant to have fun. Fun does not end when you turn 18, or maybe earlier sometimes. It is integral to who you are as a soul. Your soul loves to have fun. And the society idea that you have to be serious and that only kids can have fun, and many Adults sometimes only have fun once they have children or grandchildren through their children or grandchildren. But fun is inside of you, and it is a gateway to allowing more of what you desire into your life if you allow yourself to play. So adventure can come and bring energy, but after the celebration, I'm hearing you're going to go on an adventure. Now, again, don't know what that looks like, but that's what's coming in, which is change. It's new. Now, you might have some fear coming up about this, and it's okay. It's normal. It's not like we're supposed to be like going into the unknown and being like, well, you can if you're somebody who can do this. Think about the show me an image of a roller coaster. Are your hands up and are you gripping on the bar? Either way, it's your choice what you do, and you could be somebody who hangs on to the bar and eventually takes their hands off and says, I'm going to flow. And a roller coaster is something I'm showing a lot about with flow. Flow is not a straight line. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, as you get more into flow, those dips become smaller. When we're out of flow, those dips are really, really big. Okay? But if you hold on, that's fine. But it's still in flow, right? You're letting the roller coaster move. I'm not a big roller coaster fan, but as a kid, I liked it. So, we get the fun part. And amusement parks are supposed to be fun. So your soul is going to bring you on an adventure with this new eclipse. The eclipse that comes in tomorrow with this energy of celebration, which brings in this new adventure. And this is something that we all have to be really careful about. So this, I don't know why my camera won't really focus, but is the energy of presence. And in this eclipse, we're being asked to just focus on the now moment, not about what's going to happen in the future or what isn't going to happen in the future. It's about this now moment, because that is where you manifest. You don't manifest in the future. You manifest in the now moment. Someone said to me once, or I read it, I don't really know. And it said, if you're always thinking about when this happens in the future, I will be. It will always be in the future. You cannot say that and manifest it, because it's always going to be in the future. So these things like, when I have enough energy, I will. That's a future statement. And the only thing that you have control over is the now moment. There is technically no future. From a manifesting quantum time existence. So we really have to become present with ourselves. Take the time to disconnect from what might happen in the future. I don't know, right? Things could change overnight for the better. And you can be offered new opportunities. Remember, going on this adventure. And they're saying that if starting now is how they're saying get the signs on where this adventure starts and where you're going, so you can follow the steps so that you can experience this adventure. If you're focused on the future, even a week from now, you can miss signs on where to get in. They're showing me a cruise ship where you get on the boat that's going to take you on this new adventure, because you have to be present with ourselves. But depending on how much stress you have in your life, being present with yourself is hard, because there's a lot of worry going on, anxiety, all that stuff, and by the way, that very much can be chakra based. You have to take time throughout the day to be present with yourself. And this does not mean going on YouTube and listening to, I don't know, meditation, or even some of the sound ones. Because being present with yourself is listening to yourself. listening for guidance from your higher self or source. And you don't always hear that when you already have background noise going on, whether it's sound without words or not. The other thing is, as we go through this energy of love has won, we are starting to live from our hearts. And so many of us live up here. There's so much focus in the spiritual community of opening your third eye, really focused on these upper chakras, third eye and crown. But you have 7 or 8 that are just as important, if not more important, for you to guide that in order for you to experience what you want in this life. If your sacral is closed, you've got problems with creativity, your self-expression isn't possibly working properly, there's guilt in the sacral. So the focus isn't just here. You know, the goal is not to open your third eye. Doesn't mean it's something you can't focus on, but I'm going to challenge you to try to open some of the lower chakras. Your third eye may already be open. The problem is the chakras below that aren't, and because they're not, the energy can't move properly. You are supposed to be pulling earth energy up through your feet, up through all your chakras, and out, and divine intelligence back down to your body. But it's really hard when the lower chakras aren't working properly. And if you're really stressed, know that your root and your sacral may be a little bunched up a bit. All fixable. Okay, so when you're not being present with yourself, do you take time to be in the moment, to allow your heart to tell you something or show you something, or your higher self? It's going to be the same message, whether it comes from your heart, your higher self. You are one with that aspect of yourself in your heart. So you need to, like, just picture me like this, like, almost like this, there's this song that keeps showing me of like this, like, and it's like this, like, bring it back. And when you bring it back, you're in that present moment, and you can really see what's in front of you or hear where you should be going. The second thing with this is to make sure you follow what you get. Because if you get it and then don't follow it, it doesn't work. But you have to take the action when given. So, celebration. You're going to go on an adventure, but you have to be present with yourself and your higher self and source in order for you to get the signs on how to start your adventure and where your adventure leads you. And the last card is the Realm of the Fae. This is the card we got last time. This is all about Earth. And I've been talking about how important those lower chakras are, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus. Because without those, you can't ground in what you want. If you're manifesting whatever, and your root chakra is not connected to the earth, it's hard to manifest from that standpoint. Because you, as a creator being, create this vision of what you want it to be within yourself, and then you are projecting it out of your heart space as to what you want your outer reality to look like. And then Earth responds with, or this dimension responds with what that is, or the universe, right? But if you're not grounded, you're not connected to the Earth energy that would pull that to you. And those magnetics in the Earth, sometimes referred to as ley lines, but it's deeper than that. There's like a primary grid as well as secondary grids, just like the veins in your body, blood vessels. It's the same idea there, okay? So within the earth, there's these veins of energy called ley lines that are reflected in us in our own veins. Everything is a reflection. But in order for us to really bring in this celebration energy, which is the manifestation of your true reality and oneness with it all, is the energy of celebration. Going on an adventure, you have to be present with it, but to get it to come in, you have to work on your own physicality in the 3D. You are the physical manifestation of your higher self in the 3D. And it's up to you to work on the energy around it in your field, in your chakras, and so forth, to clear what is preventing you from becoming a higher aspect of your higher self in your physical body. I heard years ago when things were really starting to get crazy, maybe a decade ago, I heard for many centuries, millennia, what has been happening over and over again is that you are born, you go through a soul mission, and you get to a certain level, and you die. And then you'll reincarnate, you'll have an vision. It would take you, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, to remember who you were and how far you had gotten. And then you would start from there to move forward. And depending on how long that took, it would either have a short ramp for some more learning or a long ramp, right? And you would repeat this process. And I had heard that that process was going to, quote unquote, end. And so what's happening now is that we're born in this time. It's taking you effort years to remember who you are and really work on yourself. And instead of your physical body dying, you are rebirthing your higher self into physical being. So your higher self becomes present in this 3D reality. But to do that, you got to have the junk and your interference and the static in your 3D aspect of yourself. And you might ask, well, what's the point of that? Well, there are certain knowledge or gifts that, in the amounts of them, and allowing them to come forward in this timeline, in this time and space, it will make future timelines better. Doesn't mean you won't pass from this timeline, you will. But there's a quantum leap that will happen on Earth when this happens. I don't know when it is, and it's probably individual for each one of us, depending on where you are in all of this. But that is the message for this eclipse. Really quick, I want to do just another reading for the energy for the next 3 weeks. 3 weeks? I think it's 2 weeks it's 2 weeks between now and the next eclipse, and what the energy of that is. Really quick. I will do another on that, but for now, we're going to just do a quick one. So I think I'm going to do these probably weekly. I'll still doing other content. It's just, this makes it fun for me, right? I like doing this. And I want you all to get something. It's jumping out. Okay. We're only gonna get 2 cards. It's all they want, so that's all we're doing. I don't do anything by standards. If that's who I am, I follow my guidance. Trust that that's right. So It's an exciting time. Really kind of unplug from all the stuff that's happening. I want you to think of like the patriarchy, which is really what this ball energy is for. It's like a cornered dog. And when you corner a dog, what happens? It lashes out, it bites you. It attacks you, whatever. But that's the energy that we're in right now. And or that's a choice we get to experience, I should say. And you don't have to experience that. You can just say, I'm done with the dog. I'm going to separate myself from the dog. And that's a lot of what I did when I worked through my energy centers and cleared all of that. And it can be done with sounds, but I really do it with my Higher Self Alchemy energy healing modality that I use during sessions to remove that energy. Because these two cards that I just picked are all about no regulation. Behind the energy of the next 2 weeks between the eclipse, either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you are in the world, 17th, 18th, is graduation between now and the next eclipse, the solar eclipse, in early October. I don't know the exact date, but I know it's the first week. Okay. This is what's happening. And I keep hearing, don't worry about it. Everything's about to change. No, you're going to be excited or scared. It's your choice, right? Can you let go of the known and allow yourself to ride into the energy of this energy of graduation? And graduation is leveling up. This is about going into the next level of your soul's mission. Maybe this is where the higher self comes in, and she or them take over. Your higher self doesn't have a gender. It's just in this lifetime, whatever your experience of gender is, what it wanted to experience. Okay. And then the second card is commitment. It's not a commitment to anyone. It's committed to yourself. It's committing to yourself to ride the wave, to go within, work with your higher self, source, your guides, to understand if there's anything in the way of this. They're saying part of this is these next 2 weeks are going to be, they're saying pivotal. But I want you to think about this pendulum, right? So our lives are in this pendulum. And balance is going to come in. And if you've ever stopped a pendulum really fast, it kind of does this work, it's kind of funny. It doesn't always come to a stop right away, depending on how much it's swinging. If you stop it when it's swinging its highest point, getting it back to center is kind of jarring. So even on that jarring energy, you have to be willing to be committed to yourself in this energetic jump that's going to really ramp up in the next couple of days as the lunar eclipse happens, and then the solar eclipse in early October. You have to stay committed. You can't put one foot in the water. You have to have both feet in the water and say, show me how easy this can be. Don't think that it's going to be hard. If you think it's going to be hard, it will be. You create your reality. No one else. It can be easy. And you need to stay committed to that. Stay committed to your higher self and source. And trust that they know the easiest path through this 2-week window where you're going through great change, physically, mentally, and spiritually. You have to be there. And they're saying, well, there's a couple of things they're saying, but one is really staying unplugged from the outside world. Stay committed to yourself. And you can ask, does any of us on the world stage matter? If it does, then I would ask you to work through why that is, because that out there is not separate from you. It's a reflection of something within you, as it is with all of us. But they're saying anytime emotions come up, this is a time where all these emotions that you have trapped inside your energetic field in your body are being released. So there's going to be lots of sadness, anger, fear, powerlessness, guilt. Let it come. Find yourself a safe way to express them. But better yet, do the energy healing around them as to why they even exist to begin with. All those emotions are just that there are pain points within yourself, either from this life, past life, or even ancestral, that are causing that pain. And as a society, we have been taught to push our emotions down, that they're not safe. But your emotions are supposed to be felt. That's part of this human experience, is to feel emotion. And all emotions have value. Powerlessness, fear, helplessness, anger, guilt, worry, anxiety. They are your compass to show you where you're off, where things maybe not from you. Like if you might have gone overboard, you might feel guilty about that. That's just like guardrails. So they're all purposeful, but so many of us have unexpressed emotions in our energetic bodies that prevent us from being able to use the emotions in the way they're meant to. So stay committed to yourself and let's do graduation. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. Oh, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Bye for now.